Hey guys, welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to do a quick overview on the skills page for Crowfall. So let's take a look at that. Played for a couple hours, and we'll see what kind of skills we have, and we'll kind of go over how everything kind of looks. So hopefully you guys will have a better understanding by the time we're done with the video here. Go ahead and turn on this music for you guys. There you go. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better now. But basically what we have here is Crowfall's alpha or pre-alpha Big World 4.5. And they have a very unique way of kind of handling their skills. And hopefully we can quickly go through this and you guys can kind of see. So basically the way they have it currently set up is there is one currently training item here. So you can kind of see it looks like this. You'll see that once this thing hits whatever 100, I'm able to kind of go into exploration. Right now I'm kind of leveling up exploration, this kind of base exploration stat, which they call exploration basics. The unique thing about this is you can continue to level up exploration basics, which is kind of like your foundation, your core skill, in order for you to unlock these kind of I don't want to call them minor, but this sub-major, let's call them sub-major skills, like excavation, vessels, or harvesting. Obviously animal husbandry and tracking, those are not available in this current build. So we're going to take a look, and I think the reason I've been leveling up exploration is so that I can actually get my excavation skills up. And so basically once I hit 100 points in exploration, which is here, like I said, my core foundation skill is exploration. And right now the requirement is 100 points, right? So let's see, how do they have it currently set up? It's on real time. So every real time, throughout real time, you're accumulating points. So really it tells me my next point, which is I'm one away from 100, 99 out of 100 obviously. My next point is in 47 minutes and 9 seconds, right? And once that happens, I'm able to kind of level up this new skill called Excavation Basics. And what it basically says is it increases your chance to harvest ethereal dust while harvesting ore or stone. Also increases the size of bonus harvesting inventories when you have an inventory bag of that type equipped. So I'm assuming there's going to be an item that grants harvesting inventory. So if you are a harvester profession, or you want to be somebody who harvests or somebody who crafts, you can kind of focus on optimizing your character for something like that. So I will be pursuing a primary character that focuses on harvesting and crafting, primarily crafting. And I think I'm trying to get to necromancy, so harvesting bodies and whatnot. So you can kind of see I'm required to get excavation basics up so that I can actually work my way to digging basics, right? And this will actually allow me to excavate body parts. Why would I want to excavate body parts? Well, Crowfall has this unique, I guess, concept that body parts are a resource. And once you gather all these body parts, you can craft them into what's called a vessel, a body. So you can imagine, for example, let's use the Templar, right? So the Templar has a basic body, a basic vessel that you can spawn into. And it just has, a predefined set of stats. Now, you could actually acquire body parts for a Templar vessel, and you can craft a crafted Templar vessel that could be better as, a base vessel, and potentially upgrade, get higher upgrade bonuses and whatnot. So I think that's a very, very neat concept, and I think this allows, this could be a very valuable thing that I think a lot of people may overlook. Because I think traditionally, people will kind of gravitate a little bit more towards something they're familiar with. I could be absolutely wrong on launch. It could be the other way around, right? It could be a ton of people just flocking over to necromancy or excavation or grave digging because it's you know, the newest thing. But I personally think that this is something I want to pursue just because I think it's a very unique experience, something different than, what I've experienced in a lot of MMOs like Vanilla WoW or Guild Wars 2 that I've spent so much time playing. But yeah, before I go off on too much of a rant, you can kind of see that these skills, excavation, kind of branch off into sub skills, right? Or secondary skills. So there's harvest technique, grave goods. So this one, grants the ability to harvest grave goods from graves. Or this one increases the chance of beneficial harvest when digging any type of grave. Beneficial harvest can only happen when the node is destroyed. Beneficial harvest might be, increases their rarity, so it's more beneficial, right? So the symbol, the icon here is a little dice with a grave. So it could increase your RNG chance of getting a higher rarity body part. And then this one is called Plethora of Dust. Increases the chance for ethereal dust when digging graves. Ethereal dust is an ingredient, whether that's for alchemy or necromancy or both in the final build, that's to be seen. And then once you've leveled these up, you can see the prerequisite. You must train one or more prior skills. So this you have to train completely. Okay, so you can kind of see it says, full completion in 2 days. So this basically takes about 3 full days to fully max out before you can even progress to any of these. So what I'm doing is just coming back on and going ahead and leveling these passively, while we're waiting here. And you'll see that I have the next one would be exceptional shovels, and this one increases the damage. And what they mean by damage is you're technically, or how they're recording it is, you're dealing damage to a node, and the damage determines, in increments of damage. I believe they have it up. A node has a chance to drop resources, and I know there's a lot of statistical equations that go into how many resources you're getting based on how much damage you're dealing and how much hit point a node has. So if you're not able to, and I believe nodes have an armor of some type because they have rank. So if you're, levels X through Z or X through Y, let's just say 1 to 10, you're most likely going to be a rank, 1 node harvester. And then as, your quality of your tools increase, I'm assuming that you'll be able to more efficiently mine higher level nodes, higher ranking nodes. Currently at the moment, I know that, with my level 1 pick or my runestone pick or whatever, I can actually harvest, rank 3 or 4 nodes. It's just very, very inefficient. So the drop rate for that higher node is gonna be very, very low. And so essentially it's gonna kind of deter me from wanting to mine something like that, because it does eat up durability for my tools, etc., etc. So let's go back home and check out what other skills we can look at. So we went through excavation and I showed you my grave digging things. Next we have vessels, which is another one I'm very, very interested in. Other than just, I think this is your traditional harvesting skills. So you can see animal harvesting. So this is where you can skin and gather bone. This is wood harvesting, very traditional wood harvesting. It's very similar. I think kind of stat allocation is very, very similar to, grave digging or even node mining. And then this one is plant harvesting. So just to give you a sense, let's go back to vessels. Now this is one I'm very, very interested in. Here you can see, this will increase Crowfall to enter uncommon quality vessels. So right now you can, by default you enter common vessels, which is what you respawn or what you choose as your class when you spawn. But there is a chance for you to transfer your character into a higher quality vessel. So this is an uncommon vessel, and you can kind of see, what the stats are for that. So for here, you can increase the intellect and max mana of your vessel. This is very interesting because I wonder if you could just theoretically max all of these out and just get some uber vessel. That'd be very, very interesting to see. So this is intellect. These are intellect base. Increases maximum mana. Okay, you can see this is 15, and then this is 20, and then this is 25. So that's interesting just that stat boost. This increases strength, Okay, so this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. For all of these, strength, dexterity, constitution, and max hit points. So you can increase your max hit points by increments 25 from 50 all the way up to 100. And then this one will actually increase everything eventually. Increases and maximum health. So this increases everything. So once you get all these, I think these are cumulative. Yeah, constitution. So as this progresses, you're accumulating more of these stats, and then ultimately just, you know, piling on an even greater. This is a combination of all the stats, obviously. And then when you get to here, you can obviously see, you know, this is adding even more stats for all attributes, you know. This one is so basic. Spirit, max warmth. So I know warmth is how much HP you're regenerating at, like a fire of some sort. Spirit, I'm not too sure about. But you can see these are spirit and warmth attributes that you can obviously increase for your vessel. And then intermediate vessels. So allow the crew to use rare vessels and decreases the cooldown time on powers with a base cooldown greater than 10 seconds. Oh wow, so this is, you know, cooldown reduction along with the rare vessels, and this allows epic vessels. Okay, very interesting. I wonder what's going to be the base difference in you know, like epic, and then you have obviously legendary, right? Yep, legendary vessels. This is cool. So if you can imagine, you know, power cooldown, wow. Okay, so basically a 20% reduction. So 2 out of 10. That's a 20% reduction. That's pretty good. It's a slight buff, but it's gonna matter, you know, when you're late game min maxing. All these stats are gonna matter. So it's gonna be highly advantageous if you're obviously min maxing. Your guild's probably going to absolutely need somebody who can craft these vessels for you guys, right? So that's what I'm very interested in. So you have these sets now. Going over this this training, universal training they call it. Now if you have a crafter, this is, or harvester, or you know, a profession-based character, exploration would be great. Crafting obviously is somebody who's going to be crafting necromancy, for example. If I wanted to actually build the vessels, now all these stats here are going. This vessels tree is going to allow you to occupy, and it's going to buff your vessels. Now, oh, bug. Yeah, saw that visual bug there. This is going to buff your vessel stats. This is going to allow you to gather components to craft, and then you actually have a separate tree that buffs the crafting experience, right? So there's harvesting, there's crafting, and then there's some type of product buff, in this case a vessel buff. So for example, if I go to necromancy and I want to do all three, I would probably max these out, you know, and of course it's going to take a while, because if you look at these in real time, this is 3 days, you know, how much is 3 days? So let's assume that all of these are, yeah, so these are all 3 days here, and then these are, you know, 5-6 days, you know, and you can only train one of these at a time, keep in mind. So you have to be strategic about what you want to do first. Then you have to be very proactive with how you're managing your steps. So for here, you're getting necromancy experimentation points. Experimentation points. I have to kind of take a look at what experimentation points do. I believe it's kind of like RNG dice rolls that allow you to have a chance to improve the quality of your items. So it's kind of like almost a little mini game, to my understanding and what I've seen. I believe that's what it is now. We could look back at this in the future and be like, oh, you're absolutely wrong, or it could have changed quite a bit upon launch, but I believe that's currently what it's set at. Increases the chance of assembly success when assembling necromancy vessels. So you do have a chance of failure when you're crafting certain things. From my experience currently, it's set pretty low. Failure rates are pretty low. Crafting, you know, low to mid-range items. Obviously, when you're crafting higher level items, you want your assembly success very, very high, especially if you're gathering these high level resources and you want success right away. It's just more efficient, right? So maximizing your efficiency for that. increases the chance of assembly success, of course, and then of course you're mastering that. Um, you know, so it's accumulating 5. Um, accumulating stats for necromancy, and then necromancy craft speed. Oh, this is increasing how fast you can craft. Because everything takes time to craft. I can't imagine how long it's going to take for you to craft a vessel. It could be a matter of, um, minutes, or who knows, like tens of minutes. You could be sitting there for 20 minutes crafting a vessel or creating a vessel, and you need to spend that time. I mean, maybe that's a complete over exaggeration, but it could be. Who knows? If they're giving you this huge percentage base, I mean, craft speed, you can imagine how long things may take, which would be interesting. So, time to craft necromancy, yeah, and this is time to craft necromancy buff as well. This one is necromancy recipes. Necromancy research. Okay, so this might be like recipes to craft various vessels that you need, I'm assuming, or various vessel body parts. So you could get like a centaur arm, or craft centaur vessel, or craft, or craft common centaur vessel, craft rare centaur vessel, and craft, etc., etc. So there's a rarity level, and then there's type of vessel that you want to craft. Intermediate necromancy research, advanced necromancy research, research mastery. Interesting. So these will, I'm assuming, allow you to increase in rarity. Ability to equip apprentice thralls into necromancy crafting stations. Apprentice thralls. So I'm assuming necromancy crafting station. Oh. Increased constitution. Interesting. Greatly decreases time to craft. Novice thrall. Adept thrall. So I'm assuming you assign a type of thrall and a thrall rarity to your necromancy station, and you're not the one actually crafting the vessels. You're bringing the components over to your thrall, and your thrall's the one kind of taking the time. So it's almost like a station that you can build a vessel at a time, and it's based on what you have access to. That's pretty interesting concept. It'll be interesting to see how it comes along. So that's crafting. We'll quickly go over here. We have jewel crafting, alchemy, creating potions, stone masonry, skills that teach and enhance the crafting of walls and stone components. Necromancy, skills that teach and enhance the crafting of player vessels. Rune making, skills that teach and enhance the crafting of discipline, rune stones and tools. Woodworking, skills that teach and enhance the crafting of bows and wood components. Blacksmithing, skills that teach and enhance the crafting of tools and metal components. Leatherworking, skills that teach and enhance the crafting of leather armors and leather components. Most of these are very traditional. I mean, something we're probably familiar with if you played MMOs before, with the exception of necromancy. I mean, I haven't personally played a game of necromancy. I'm sure there are other games that have previously done necromancy in terms of crafting, but this will be the first one for me, which is why I'm so interested in it. Let's go back. We have combat, so I believe this is a fairly familiar tree as well. Just like crafting. So you do have your weapon basics. Every one of these has their foundation, right? So combat principles is kind of like a generic, attack, armor. This is the attack tree. You can kind of guess. And then from here you have, the things that buff specific attack mods, like stuns, knockdowns, blinds, and movement speed reduct. This is affecting armor or health of some sort. Strategy pools. Okay, so stamina, mana, rage, and hit points pool. And these are increasing, specific pools. From here you get, defensive modifiers. So the counteracting, reducing stuns on you, reducing, all of these effects, right? So this is like a debuff reduction type tree, subtree, I should say. And then resilience suppress decreases duration of your suppress effects. And then the final one is going to be combat principle mastery, and you get a bonus to all this stuff, you see. Attack power, armor class, offense all, defense all. You have to train, obviously, all of these in order to unlock these and this, and then eventually get here. So that's basic combat principles. Here you have actually more weapon specific stuff. So let's go in here, and you can kind of see, like, this is attack power, crit hit damage, crit hit chance. So if you want to just be a blast glass cannon, you could probably power up these nodes. I think we're going to see a lot of that stuff. Weapon styles, specific weapon style, crit hit damage, weapon styles, weapon damage, crit hit chance. Any weapon is equipped. Bonus to humanoids. Bonus to beasts. Bonus to undead. Interesting. Arcane weapon styles, attack power. Increases the attack power when any arcane weapon is increased. Yeah, so arcane weapons, like spell weapons. Okay, so it kind of branches out to arcane into physical weapons, and this is just all weapon stats. So you can really, add additional damage chances, damage buffs to your damage, basically based on your weapon type. I believe you can compound that with weapon basics. So I mean, if you're really leveling up, if you really want to go up, you can imagine how much damage you can do, because you can really go here, and it's attack cover when any melee weapon, and this is ranged. Okay. You can still double up because the Confessor has a range arcane attack, right? So you can do range and arcane. I mean, you could technically level up this tree all the way over here, and then do it again, essentially to double down on weapon damage stats, right? You can go pretty defensive with armor as well. I'm assuming armor is very similar, but we can take a look at that really quick. So here, you have your basic mail, chainmail, leather, and plate, so just as you suspected, and you have obviously bonus resistances to the types of resistance they have. So obviously leather is getting, physical damage reduction and elemental reduction. You get your mail, your chainmail has, fire resistance, frost resistance, lightning, basic elemental. And then you have your mail with physical resistances. Plate. Yeah, plate having elemental and physical, right? Yep. So they all kind of share similar share similar resistances. It just depends on what types you have. Fairly basic, and then you can get eventually the armor mastery, which grants you like an additional 500 hit points. Pretty crazy. And then, so that's universal training. That's the top one that we see here. Now let's see how much. How much time do we need still? 25 minutes to get that. So I may not get to that on this stream. I'm hoping to keep this, under an hour. But we'll take a look at the archetype trainings. Currently, I'm training the Druid, the Myrmidon, and the Templar. Just 3 that I thought maybe I would be playing. Obviously, once I get this, I'm going to get more specific into the actual skills. So here they're based on, the roles. And each role will have, archetypes in them. So tank, for example, I click on tank and I'm leveling up the Templar and the Myrmidon, these 2. Now, once I get my Templar leveled up, just like any class, you're going to go in, and there are very specific stats and skill sets that are related to the Templar. So the Templar can have a hit point buff, health regeneration buffs, stamina regen, so just health, max health and regen, you know, and then you get an additional health here. Then you also get attack power buff, generic, and you get crit hit chance and bonus damage, weapon damage bonus minimum. So here you're increasing just the damage power. This is like your HP and regen. This is your attack, and then this is armor rating, right? Physical mitigation. You could do, plate, mail, or leather. So apparently the Templar could specialize in any of those. Pretty neat. Hallowed Ground. Now this reduces the duration of any knockdown or stun applied to you. Interesting. Takes 18 days to complete. Okay. Increases physical mitigations on all pieces of armor when any type of chest plate is equipped. Interesting. Chest plate. Okay. So that's just a chest plate specific stat. That's very interesting. Templar Mastery. So you get bonus attack power, you get max hit points, you get max stamina. Physical mitigations, 2%. Health regen out of combat is 20. Health regen in combat is 3. Oh. Okay. Now, the Templar is a very, obviously, tanky defensive, in my mind. I guess you could build her very offensive. Myrmidon is a berserker type class, and you can kind of see, bovine ancestry, health regen, and stamina regen. Part man, part bull. This is just attack power, so you get, Beast Within gives you bleeding buff, and then this is attack power, just sheer, damage, or attack power, I should say. Armor stats, elemental mitigations. You can choose, what, very similar to the Templar, what type of armor specialty you wanna buff, right? And then once you get here, you can look. There's increased attack power, max hit points, regen out of combat is 15, and then physical mitigation is 6%. So this is, it mitigates a lot of physical damage. If you're going against a lot of physical classes, this is a good character to play. In the forefront, it's Berserker, so that's great. Take a quick look at the Knight here. Attack power, max hit points, health regen out of combat, and physical mitigation. Very much like the Myrmidon, except obviously a lot more balanced. Less offense, more defense than the Myrmidon. This is a pretty well-rounded class, I think. I don't know how I feel about that. For me, like as a min-maxer, I'm usually trying to get the most out of like one big stat, right? And it's just like easier to cater cater that play style, for me at least, to kind of focus on one thing and just be extremely maximum efficiency with that particular role. The Knight is almost like a hybrid or a combination or kind of a middle type of character that if you want to be kind of well-rounded and kind of a utility character, this would be a pretty good one. But I'm assuming the stats are pretty generic, pretty familiar to almost everyone. So you kind of have your hardiness, which is stamina and health regen, of course. These are specific: stamina regen, reduces health consumption. This is health regen. Then you got your attack for one-handed sword. You got one-handed axe specialty, one-handed mace, and then of course your armor types. And then once you get the weapon and armor types complete, you can get chivalry, which is attack power and sprint movement. So they can sprint faster than your average class, I think. And then here, movement speed while mounted. So they get obviously a mount buff. First time I'm seeing that. Maximum health and damage bonus when health is low. And then here you're getting health regen, physical mitigation, max hit points, and attack power. Very, very similar, it seems, to the overall master buff of the Myrmidon. Very similar. Let's look at our DPS classes. What do they have for us in here right now? So they have two. You have the champion. Let's take a look at that. The champion is this big hulking kind of damage dealing character, I suppose. You can see the attack power, health regen out of combat, and physical mitigation. Attack power is obviously really, really high on this one. This is a melee, giant melee, kind of slower attack class, right? So you have out of health and stamina regen, very similar to what the knight had, but this is maximum rage. So your special bar there is going to be recess bar is going to be rage. So out of combat rage decay. So you can slow down slow down the rate at which your rage is reduced out of combat. Reduces resource cost of powers. Interesting. Reducing cost of spells or abilities. Increases hate generation and increases maximum weapon damage. Interesting. I'd like to see what that hatred generation looks like currently. Armaments. So increasing attack power. This is obviously two-handed axes, two-handed maces. Kind of see this is kind of like a two-handed wielder. And then you have maximum weapon damage and maximum weapon damage. Oh, you're increasing minimum weapon damage and maximum weapon damage with a two-hander. And then here you're increasing crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and bonus damage of thorns. If my assumption is correct, thorns is like damage return when you get hit. These are armor type buffs. And then increase the physical mitigation of armor. Increases maximum mass. Maximum mass. I think your mass makes it so that it's very hard for somebody to push you or drop you, I'm assuming, since this does have collision volumes. That's a very interesting concept. I'd be very curious to see how that works out. Here we're looking at attack power, health regen out of combat, and physical mitigation as the mastery. Okay, let's continue over to Confessor. So the Confessor is your spellcaster, DPS, range DPS character. You have mana regen, health regen, and stamina regen in and out of combat for those. I would imagine since you're getting so many various regens, it's going to be slightly less than something like more of a concentrated, like a champion or a knight or some of the tank classes. Attack power. This is increasing attack power. Some more attack power, and channeled tick count. Let's see, weapon damage bonus. Okay, increasing the minimum and maximum of your weapon damage bonus. Crit hit chance and crit hit damage. So you're seeing crit hit chance and crit hit damage and projectile velocity. That's the speed at which you're firing, and the range at which you're firing. Crit hit chance and crit hit damage with the range. Very interesting. So you could be nuking, you could be bombing people from far. This will be interesting when people are like zerging. Oh cow, that's gonna suck. You got these confessors. Oh, excuse me. You got these confessors kind of chilling on the back lines, just bombing people. That's where stealth DPS comes into play, right? Taking out confessors. That's your job. It's always a tough job though, trying to infiltrate and survive while the confessors are sitting there bombing people. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, now you have damage, attack, or I should say attack power, and channel tick count. Then you have these very specific erudite weapon efficiency. What is this? Weapon efficiency bonus and crit hit chance, max hit points. What a very interesting height. Subsistence and max hit points. Okay. Damage bonus to humanoids and max hit points. Persecution. Very interesting. So you could choose one or all three if you really wanted to. Typically what people are going to do, since these take so long, 18 days a piece, They are typically trying to progress to the next one, right? So I, I think more often than not, you're going to see people, choose one. So it's almost like three different styles or stat allocations before you actually choose, the Confessor Mastery, which is attack power, health regen out of combat, and elemental mitigations, right? And then here you have your weapon armor type specialties. Very interesting. The Confessor. I like the whole range increase and the projectile longevity increase. That's pretty cool. No, I'm sorry. Let's look at support. So our DPS, the other classes we can't look at right now are Frostweaver, Ice DPS versus Fire DPS. Stalker, which is like a range assassin. Range physical DPS, that's what that is. For support, we have two right now, Legionnaire and the Druid. Legionnaire is basically the Centaur. I'll show you what he has. So basically, he's got attack power, health regen, and physical mitigation. So the Centaur is going to be a tanky melee healer or CC support. So here you got health regen, stamina regen, pretty straightforward. And then once you get to the tempered rage, rage is the resource bar rather than hatred for the champion. This is rage. Then you have your military equipment, which increases armor and attack power, pretty basic. They wield pole axes and pole mace. Interesting. And then Manual of Arms will give you a weapon damage bonus minimum and maximum. So it's just any type of weapon. So as an additional bonus, you can get that. Crit hit chance, crit hit damage. Yep. And then this is, obviously armor, increasing your defenses if don't want to go the attack route. You have your options. This is dodge efficiency. Pretty interesting. Anyways, gallop, support power, sprint movement modifier, increases support power and sprint movement speed. Support power. Yeah. Emergency rations. Support power and subsistence. Subsistence. Oh, this is like your hunger meter. It reduces your hunger meter. Okay, that's interesting. So increases support power and healing power while you are low health. Support power is like your spell power, your support spell power, I believe. And then your healing power is increases your lower. So it's kind of like high risk, high reward type of thing. Military medicine increases support power. This increases your effective resource recovery powers. So this is regen? No? I don't know. Support power increases more support power. And then the Legionnaire Mastery includes increased attack power, health regen, and physical mitigation. Very interesting. Now the other class I'm going to play, get to the Druid. Okay, so the Druid, basic attack power and support power. If you want to build it for healing, Children of the Forest, max hit points. Health regen out of combat, health regen in combat, you get stamina regen. This one is, out of combat, health regen again, and in combat. This is stamina regen, this is increased max stamina. And this is your max hit point increase. And this is essence. Not sure what essence is currently right now. Let's take a look at nature lore. Attack power, support power, and healing modification. That's pretty cool. I like that. Attack power, support power, and healing modification. Cool. Nature lore. Path of life increases support power with a staff. So if you have a staff equipped, increases your support power. Increases attack power with a staff weapon. Interesting. So you're either support power or attack power. And then it branches out, right? If you're support power, you can get Bramble Coat, Thorns bonus damage, 25. And then you get Blessing of the Trees, projectile lifetime, increases the lifetime of your projectiles. Yeah. Crit hit chance when using any staff weapon. This will be interesting because you can actually cast like damage spells. I don't know. Increased crit hit damage with staff. Very interesting that those are supports. Increased damage bonus, electric, and increases minimum and maximum weapon damage. And then you have increases the amount of essence you can contain before being affected by essence burn. This one is increases organic mitigation on all equipped armor pieces. Organic mitigation. Anything outside of physical, I'm assuming? Yeah. So it's either organic or physical, right? Interesting. This one, it gives you attack power, support power, and max hit points. I like that. He definitely needs more hit points, for sure. It's max stamina. Oh, excuse me. That's max hit points. Cool. Okay, specialist. Let's go through all these real quick. Ranger, Forge Master, Duelist, and Assassin. So currently just Duelist and Ranger that you can look at. Ranger is just typical range kind of DPS. You know, attack power, health regen, physical mitigation, health and stamina regen, health regen, stamina regen, max hit points. You know, here you're going to get your attack power increase. You're probably going to get your bow min and max damage increase. You know, lifetime of your projectiles. So obviously, the longer your projectiles stay in play, the longer you can effectively shoot from. Crit hit chance, crit hit damage, attack power, and of course crit hit chance and damage, and bonus to beasts. Here you have pointy things. So we have the Scoundrel. Dual wield long dagger. That's right, there's two modes. So there's bow, and then there's dual daggers. And here you can buff like the dagger stats. Here it's armor, or I'm sorry, arrow stats. So you can increase the damage for crushing 5%. Increased damage bonus crushing when using blunt arrows. And this is increased damage bonus slashing when using broadhead arrows. Oh. So is this like a debuff arrow? That's interesting. Huh. Then armor type specialties, and then when you get to military training, you have bleed mitigation, max hit points, and crit hit chance. And then the mastery is going to give you attack power, health regen, and physical mitigation. Let's go to the last one, which is Duelist. Duelist is going to have attack power, health regen out of combat, and crit hit chance. Yeah, so this is probably like a high burst, little rogue type character. Health and stamina regen, pretty standard. Max hit points. This stuff is going to be damage, attack power, and crit hit chance. This is going to give you attack power when you get a duelist weapon set. This is going to increase increase critical hit chance in general. Attack power and crit hit chance, it seems. Here, crit hit chance is increased and attack power, and then here, crit hit damage is increased. So depending on where you want to go, and then once you get all that, you can increase your attack power, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. So this is definitely like the really bursty, like high DPS output kind of character. I think melee. I don't imagine you're gonna get a very high hit point pool though. Physical mitigations. Increases the armor class of all pieces of armor when any plate. Okay, so that's plate, chain, and leather, obviously. Reduces the duration of knockdowns and stun when you get plate. This is reduce the duration of like blind suppress or anything when you use chain, and reduces the duration of any slower route when you're using leather. Here, increases all physical mitigations, repeat attacks. And then for final, holy crap, look at this, Duelist Mastery, you get attack power increase, crit hit chance increase, crit hit damage increase, max hit points. Max stamina, physical mitigation, health regen out of combat, weapon damage bonus minimum, weapon damage bonus maximum. So that seems like you get a lot of variously allocated stats rather than specializing and focusing your stats on another. So as you can see, that's pretty much it. We have 4 minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys while that's finishing up. And then once that's finishing up, let's figure out what we want to get next, right? Let's take a look. Do we want to go to excavation? Do we want to go to vessels? I feel like excavation seems like a pretty legit choice if I want to actually start grave digging and seeing how that looks like, right? Well, I haven't found any graves yet. I don't know. I think I'm going to do it anyways, just to prepare, you know, in case this alpha build comes and we're still testing alpha, they'll eventually get graves in, so I want to be able to get buffed, get a buff experience for this, and we'll see how that goes. So maybe I will do that. Obviously, I'll have to focus on excavation basics if I want to get to that point. Unless I want to just mine traditional resources. Nah, I don't. What am I thinking? I want necromancy, baby. That's what I want, necromancy. So this allows me to harvest. Maybe I don't want that. Which one allows me to excavate? Uncommon vessels. Okay. I have to get vessels before I can enter them, right? Grave goods. Beneficial harvest. I gotta look into see what that does. What that really does. But I think we've decided. I think we're gonna go with excavation basics. Once we're done here. You know, 2 minutes left. So pretty exciting. I'm kind of curious how they're going to layer this with traditional XP gains. If they do plan on doing XP gains, how will that work? You know, what's the level cap like? This is obviously a very complex skill tree. How is that going to affect levels? You know, how are they going to do levels on top or experience on top of this? That'll be very interesting to see, because if they did just this, I mean, what's the point of playing if you're just sitting here collecting passive experience towards, you know, your skills, right? Now you still have to play to actually acquire resources or acquire experience, or not only that, but to experience the game and gather resources for your Eternal Kingdoms and help capture objectives for this the things. So maybe I do guess I see kind of that. I see that benefit, but I'm very curious how that's going to affect the overall kind of economy. Like, you know, if you're focusing on combat, are you really going to go out of your way to kill mobs? Or are you going to focus on honing your skills against players, right? That's interesting. And if you're crafting, you know, do you have any incentive to go out and kill any mobs? Unless you're, you know, you're harvesting bone or skin or fur, right? Interesting. I guess it kind of is unconventional in the sense where we don't really experience in that in current MMOs, where, you know, you're going on and you're grinding and you're just trying to grind levels, and it isn't until, you know, you gain the experience or the materials, good enough materials, to be able to make, like, you know, end game items. Yay! Here we go, complete. Yeah, we got that sound, a little Pac-Man sound. Let's go ahead and excavate experience here. Yeah, please wait, now training, perfect. Now that I set that, look, it reset that little circle, that orange ring, and we're good. Perfect timing. Wow, that actually worked out. It's probably a good way to end the video, right? So we did kind of get that universal skill leveled up, and now we're starting our second universal skill. You can see it's pulsating here to kind of signify that you're leveling that. So this is a pretty complicated tree. I mean, if you do the math and you calculate how long it would take for you to get all of these, because theoretically you can, man, that's a lot. Right? Let me see if I can do the basic math here. So if I wanted to get everything, how long would it take? So this is 3 days, approximately, minus 1 hour, right? So 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. So that's 4, that's 12, approximately 12 days. Plus, this is what, 6 days a piece? Remember, we've got 12 here, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 6. That's 54. Plus 12, 66, 66 plus, you got 6, 72 plus another 6, 78 plus another 6, what did I say, 78, 84, 84 plus 6, okay, so 84, I'm assuming these are all 6s, right? 84 here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We get another 5 times 6, that's 54 plus, what did I say? 84. 54 plus 84, that's 138. 138 plus 18. So 138, 140, 156. You get 156 plus 9 days approximately. So you get 165. 165 days. 165 days, bro. That's ridiculous. That's like that's 6 months. And that's you wanting to fill up all of the excavation bonuses and be one hell of an excavator in 6 months. Which, if that's what you want to do, more power to you. I think a lot of people are going to be divvying that up, right? So I might want to be excavating just body parts. I don't care about the traditional stuff. And then I'm going to come here. Now here, maybe this is something. If I'm creating vessels, okay, or I'm occupying vessels, I think this is like where you want to be at for late game, occupying vessels. Maybe after you decide, I want to do support. I want to do my archetype for support, so I'm going to do, occupying vessels, and then I'm going to basic jack all my stats for my vessels, right? That I can occupy for late game. That would be dope. That would be cool. But I would think about doing, I would probably do this until eventually my clan gave me a vessel or I was able to occupy a vessel. So once I was able to do excavation, then I would go ahead and oh snap, what the heck? What is this? Oh yeah, my exploration basics. Here I can increase chance of getting an apple. What is this? Cooking recipes, campfires. Here I can actually do like gathering, decay rate, basic pick ruins. So this will make my tools last longer basically. Interesting. What the hell is this? Tracking related skill tracking. That's this sprint movement modifier, so you can increase your movement speed when sprinting. Duration of any move decreases the duration of any movement speed reduction. Okay. But yeah, that is Crowfall skills overview. Sweet. I hope you guys got some value out of this. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I went too fast on something, let me know. We have tracking, excavation, vessels, harvesting, animal husbandry. I went pretty thoroughly through necromancy. I didn't go through these. I don't feel like, I feel like these are self-explanatory. I don't think I went through all these pretty thoroughly, but you kind of get the point. I think I went through attack, combat fairly moderately just because, they do have very traditional subsets. stealth and siege warfare they don't have yet, but you kind of get the point here. You can kind of see how that lends you to kind of specialize, and I'm assuming they're going to make it a lot more complicated. I mean, there's room for growth, right? With these type of skill trees, there's always room for growth. They can modify something, they can branch out. It's like a spider web, right? You can always branch out, and that's what is really smart about that kind of system in terms of on a design level. You can branch that out, and you can make that indefinite. Look at Path of Exile, right? Look at that freaking skill tree and how custom that thing is. Like you can do something similar to this, except now you're got multiple trees to look at. You know, you've got one universal tree. Now imagine if excavation, like currently this is all necromancy, but imagine it branching out to like 6 more. You know, just to specialize a little bit more. Maybe this comes out and this branches out so many different ways, right? Oh, 1 point into here. Not gonna lie, that kind of startled me a little bit. Impact me. So. Okay, damn it. But yeah, before I rant on any longer, thank you for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think next time we're gonna take a look at, let's take a look at the main menu. Let's see what's going on here. We went through skills, campaigns right now. That's all that there pretty much is right now, right? Campaigns. Maybe I'll go through and I'll actually do more of an in-depth look at harvesting. Oh no, we already did harvesting and crafting, kind of an overview, kind of like a playthrough, but maybe I'll spend more time just kind of explaining how harvesting and crafting kind of work currently. I didn't go through and I didn't explain. It was more so of a first impression, so it was mainly me playing and just commenting here and there. But if we really want a more in-depth discussion on what the crafting and the harvesting looks like currently, we can do that. I don't know if there's a ton of value in that since it is a pre-alpha build, but who knows? I think I'm due. I kind of want to try reviewing my equipment, or maybe I'll review my equipment when it comes in, or I'll review you know, the equipment I'm currently using, or I'll review currently the software I'm currently using and how I have my stream set up and everything like that, if people are interested in something like that. Or maybe I'll do that down the road. I have a lot of fun doing the Xilverous Designs series, but who knows, maybe I'll do review tech. I just don't know what tech I want to review. So whether that's my webcam, whether that's my audio equipment, I just got like most of my audio set up going, and then eventually we'll get rid of this trusty little Razer microphone. I'm sure is like potato quality. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Sorry I drew that. I always draw my outros pretty long, but just kind of giving you guys an agenda, so in case you guys want to tune in or check out the upcoming videos. Thank you for swinging by, and we'll catch you later. Peace.